Okay, we got to that next topic. The prayer leader. Next topic in azamra. Am I going to have... Know that there is one who is... And no, the one who is capable of creating these melodies, namely collecting the good points that can be found in every Jew, or even sinners, can lead the communal prayers, for the prayer leader is called the Shaliach Tzipur, the messenger of the people, and he must be sent by all the people. All right? All these good points must be merged within him. When he stands in prayer, he does so with all this good. All right, that's a mouthful. Read it again. The one who is capable of creating these melodies, in other words, doing what we just said, namely collecting the good points that can be found in every Jew or Buddhist or whatever, even sinners can lead the communal prayers, for the prayer leader is called the Shaliach Tzipur, the messenger of the people. Now, to lead the prayers, we just said that this inductive process of an awareness and encompassing moments of awareness, and I did one identification after another into bigger and bigger gestalts here. We said that that's prayer. That's prayer process. Inductively thinking, that's prayer. And so the guy that can do that, the person that can do that, is the messenger of the public, the tzibur, the public, the people. That's actually Plato's idea of the demiurge. He does the work of the people. Orgos, work, demos, people. Shaliach Tzibur is the demiurge. And he's got to be sent by all the people. So, if you think of, now here we get into, one way to put this very clearly is to talk about Leibniz's theory of monadology. A monadology is made up as a Christmas tree with a whole bunch of monads on it. The tree of life with a bunch of sephirot, or points of view hanging on it. The encompassing big gestalt, which includes all the weak gestalts. The big figure that comes out of the ground, and the ground is all little gestalts. So you get the point here? It's the Russian dolls. The big doll that includes all little dolls. The envelope. The big envelope that includes all little envelopes. This is organic thinking also. This is also, actually it's a little more on the side of Maimonides than it is NACHMAN Breslov. This is Aristotle's idea of the organism. A person is me, or a person. Okay, a person has a mind or soul, whatever, that integrates, theoretically, ideally, should integrate all the different parts of the body, and each body is made up of organs, and the organs are made up of cells, and the cells are made up of cellules, and the molecules, and atoms, and protons, and neutrons, and quarks, and no end to it. So all of that whole circus there, that whole show, is one big organism, throbbing organism, okay? A life, process of life force. So Leibniz would, maybe if I understand it correctly, would call that a monadology made up of monads. Each level is each little organ is a world, and each cell is a world, and each cellule is a world. Each one is a world. And not only that, but you take a bunch of people and you have society, a group. That's another monad composed of another big gestalt composed of smaller ones. And then you get a society, and then you get a nation, and you get a world and a solar system, and just like you go micro, you can go macro. So it's an endless process of spheres and worlds and everything encompassing everything, and bigger. We call them gestalts. Gestalt means patterns, holistic patterns. Okay, that idea. So that the person, if we're thinking now specifically of a person praying, a person in his own life, when he does his praying, needs to encompass his own realities in his own holistic experience. So for example, when I do the Amidah prayer, the Amidah prayer is the silent part of the prayer on the Friday night service, so I take that opportunity to do some awareness work. What do I see? What's going on, and what do I hear? Outer zone awareness. What's going on in my body? Body awareness. Allow time for my imagination. Go into the void a little bit. What do I imagine? What's my fantasies? And with that holistic grounding, then I become a kind of a shaliach tzipur. I become a messenger for my body and my experience as I'm doing my prayer to God. Now, what's happening now? Well, the fantasy goes on. Sense of see if a new image comes, or what happens now. Image of Friday night in my corner at the synagogue there. I gotta pick a corner up on the left side, up near the front corner of the place. It's a small room with like 100 people in it. It's kind of packed, so I go off to the corner so the kids don't crawl around all over my shoes and everything, distract me. I'm off to the corner. I'm looking at. I do my Amidah, that prayer is supposed to be a silent prayer. You know what I do? I use my time, like I said in my essay, I use my time to do a little awareness work, gestalt work. First I look and I see what I see, and I see, for example, this week I see this stripes in the imitation wood there, in the cabinet in front of me, bookshelf in front of me. And I see this Rebbe, this Hasidic Rebbe we got here, young guy. So he's off to the in front of me and on the right a little bit. And I'm in this situation, and there's a bunch of people doing their mumbling and singing. And here I am, somehow comes to mind this situation in our little settlement here. And that's a nice feeling. It has something to do with something, exactly what, I don't know what. But I come here usually once a week on Friday night for an hour or two. And dancing around the circle is nice. And I do my Gestalt awareness exercise. First I look at the environment, then I go in my body awareness, and then I open myself to whatever images come along. So I'm doing my Gestalt work. Instead of doing the mumbling when I get to the silent meditation, that helps. And that reality that's part of my reality. So this Gestalt exercise I'm doing now, and the dream work is part of my reality, and also that's part of my reality. That's nice, that's part of my reality. And walking along, nature is part of my reality. And burping is part of my reality. These are all parts of reality here. All kinds of parts of reality. Sensuality, reality, they're all different. Like flavors of ice cream. Reality has different flavors. If, for example, if I were the Gestalt director of that whole community, for example, at Diaspora Yeshiva in 1982, I worked with 50 people in the course of a year. So since I knew 50 people, when I would go into that prayer session with those people, in a sense I was the messenger for those 50 people, because I had some idea of what their needs were and what their awareness rivers were. So I was the shaliach tzipur of that public. Tzipur is public. And I was helping to bring them, elevate the message of those 50 people heavenward. So that's a homely example, but even each person is a shliach tzipur of all the cells in his own body. And you can imagine some kind of a Rebbe. See, here we get the idea of this Rebbe of a community, and it's what they call it tzaddik in Hebrew, a wise man. That's some kind of a political leader of the community at the same time. Now, is this guy capable of being a shliach tzipur? Well, Nachman is saying yes, and I'm not so sure. Of course, in those days, maybe Rebbes were more into healing than they are today. But the way most Rebbes today are operating on a level of more of politicians and public speakers and teachers and businessmen and demagogues. I don't see too much healing going on. At least, for example, I know a bunch of Chabad communities in Florida. I didn't see any healing going on. When I tried to deal with healing, they basically didn't want to hear about it, didn't know, and didn't want to know. And Breslovers have been a little more open, but not much. So I don't know. I'm skeptical of this business of the Rebbe being a shliach tzipur. Although the concept is nice, it's an ideal, but unfortunately, it's an ideal. It's not practiced. The preaching is not practiced, even by the Breslovers who write this book. Okay, that's how I see it, anyway.
Good yontiv, a good yontiv to everybody. Rebbe, I must speak to you. No, Rebbe, I had a terrible dream. No, what did you dream, Rebbe Roizer? I dreamed I was trying to get to the Holy Land in a ship, and a great storm came. The boat sank, and I fell straight into the water. I was drowning. Then I woke up, Rebbe. It was horrible. I was scared out of my mind. What does it mean, this dream? Can you tell me? Don't worry, my dear friend. God will provide. Dreams you don't have to worry about. But tell me something. How old are you, Rebbe Roizer? 59 last month. That's what I thought. And tell me, Rebbe Roizer, have you made for yourself a will to provide for your son and your daughters, for Rivka and Sora and little Canada? Gewalt, Rebbe, you don't think that? Don't worry, I told you not to worry about dreams. Moshe, look, you've known me for how many years already? A long time, no? You know I always remind people of their real purpose in this world, and I tell them they should make proper preparations for leaving this world. Confidentially, with the Hasidim on each side listening carefully. Tell me, Reb Oizer, how much is your estate worth today? The house, the brewery, the sawmill, the land, der ganze Esek. I don't know, maybe 30,000 ruch, maybe 40,000 ruch. Hasidim and Rebbe are quite impressed. Reb Oizer, this is a tremendous sum. Your family can live nicely on this money for many years, if you make proper arrangements. So tell me, Rebbe, what kind of arrangements do you suggest? So everything will be l'shem shamayim. Why, sure, I'm very happy you asked this question. It's good to see that you are thinking of the world to come. If you ask me, I suggest you divide your property into 3 equal shares. 1 share for your wife and your son Yankala, 1 share for the 3 girls, and the 3rd share you should leave to us, so that we can carry on the Lord's work. Signs of great approval by all Hasidim, except Menachem. In this way you will bring great honor to your name, and you will contribute to the glory of the Master of the world. Joyfully slapping Reb Oizer on the back. For is it not written in our holy Torah, Tehillah LeDavid, a psalm of David, I will exalt you, my Lord the King, and I will bless your name forever and ever. From this we learn that not just today will we praise the Lord, but also in the future we will ensure that the Lord can be served even after we leave this world. Reb Oizer indicates unqualified agreement.